Once you have come up with the thought or the idea, you are actually already starting the clock. You've already started developing an idea that is coming to life with the energy, the vibration that the very thought creates. And so when you hold off and you go, okay, I'm going to start this on Monday, or I'm going to start this next week. When you start doing things like that, you're stifling yourself from the very moment everything should begin. In other words, you're creating the energy. It's already there. And you go, I'm going to shelve that until I'm ready to start doing that, which is basically a form of procrastination. If you think that you want to have a healthier body, have a better body through exercise, if you want to start working on your spiritual life, if you want to start recording podcasts, whatever the thing is, whatever it is that you want to start doing, if you go, I'm going to start it tomorrow or the next day, you're procrastinating until it starts. Why not start as soon as you have the thought? Act on them right then and there, whatever that means. Now, I always advocate coming up with clarity from the get-go. Understand what it is that you're thinking you want to do. What's it going to take to get there? How much time do you need? Do you need a mentor? Do you need to hire people to help you? Understand and get clarity from the get-go. Instead of going, I think I'm going to look into this next Monday, and then taking 7 days to work yourself up to that, you need to think it through a little bit. Is it worth your time to even approach on Monday? And why not approach it now? Maybe give your friend a call. Hey, I just thought of this. What do you think of that? Right? Have a conversation. Maybe write down the idea. Write down some bullet points. How can I get this thing done? How much energy do I need to put into this? Right? These are all things that you can do from the moment you come up with the idea. When we put everything on the back burner, we're setting ourselves up for mediocrity or not getting success, right? I don't like the word failure. I think that failure is more of a judgment. And really, if you're acting on something or not acting on something, you're putting yourself in a position of learning or staying where you're at. That's basically it. You don't need to think failure. You didn't accomplish it. Why? Because you didn't do it. It's that simple. And the more complicated we make it, the worse we feel about ourselves. And I believe that the better you feel about yourself, even in the most challenging situations, you can pick yourself up and move forward in a stronger, bolder way. So here you are, you've got this idea, it's come up and you're thinking, okay, I'm going for it. I'm going to do this thing. And you realize, wow, Beth said, don't hold off to think things through, right? So you pick up your phone or a piece of paper or whatever the thing, and you start writing down your bullet points. Make sure when you are in that stage, when you're writing down those bullet points, you're thinking forward. Don't allow yourself to think the way you used to. Don't allow yourself to fall back into old patterns. What happened yesterday does not have any say on what happens to you today. You, right now, in this moment, can choose how you're going to move forward into this new thing that you are starting. If you make moves from where you're at, this excitement for this new thing that you're going to try, you are more likely to succeed. If you start from where you have been, then you're more likely to procrastinate, drag your feet a little bit. Even if you've been successful in the past, you've got to make sure you're in the right frame of mind in order to move forward into this new task. Now, in some of the speeches that I give, I talk about this line that is a line of progression where you have an idea and you move forward and you get this thing done that you've been really working on and you feel super excited. You have the opportunity at that moment to feel the plateau, to stay in that moment of, wow, I accomplished this, or to, at that moment, think, what am I going to accomplish next? What new exciting thing am I going to do? Well, you don't want to stifle yourself. You don't want to stop in the middle of what your life can be progressing toward, right? So when you hit that plateau, immediately start thinking of the new thing. What can I do next? What new and exciting thing can I do? If you are working all of your life to be in the Olympics and you're in the Olympics and you win whatever award you've been trying to win, where are you going next? Sometimes our goals are so big that we think that there's nothing beyond that. But Olympics is one thing. Maybe you want to become a chef next. Maybe you want to be the world's best dog trainer next. You can take a totally different direction and make that goal as intense as you made the first goal. Just make sure that when you reach that plateau where you've gotten what you want, that you're actually thinking forward so you know where you can go next. Make sure that you're coming from where you are at right now. Don't assess everything based on where you've been and the accomplishments you've already had. Have the excitement. Allow yourself the exhilaration of thinking of something new. Allow yourself to think from the place that you're at so that you can grow instead of thinking, well, I've done this before, but I'll go ahead and try this again. I knew this woman once who I tried to encourage her son to get into a couple programs. And every time I would try to encourage her, she would say, well, he already knows that. And as it turned out, by the time we finally got him involved in some of the things that I was recommending, we found out that he loved being around the people. And even though he knew a lot of the information that was being presented in these programs, he was excited to be learning those things with other people. He was also excited to learn things beyond what he already knew. Sometimes where you're at allows you to expand into other things. In other words, you don't have to reach, like keep going higher. You've got the plateau and you keep reaching. Sometimes where you're at that plateau, you can go, wow, I can expand what I've just experienced to get to areas I didn't even know were possible. In other words, the goal that you had grows into something even bigger. So don't stifle yourself by thinking that because of your age or your stature or whatever the situation is, maybe it's the job that you have, that you've already reached the pinnacle and there's nothing left to learn. That's not true. We all have something to learn, each and every one of us. Now, I do want to encourage you to think beyond yourself, not just in the sense that you're growing outward, but how does your success affect the people around you? What is it that you're doing in the goals that you're reaching for that actually serves other people? Remember that any job that you do can serve other people, but if you're not acknowledging the fact that you're doing that, you're really missing out. Really. If you're a baker or you're an assistant baker, or maybe you're just sweeping the floors in the bakery, recognize that all of those things are leading up to the very things that people are coming in to purchase. They're excited about the breads that they're purchasing. They're excited about the cookies. Makes them feel good. Makes them feel like they're sort of rewarding themselves by buying something from your shop. The thing that sets you apart is how you are affecting others. And beyond that, it's how you understand you are affecting others. You can be affecting others and it feels good. Wow, I had a good day at work today. But when you start acknowledging, wow, that person really had a lovely smile on their face when they left, or the person walked in and they started talking to me like I'm their best friend, but maybe they needed that. When you start acknowledging those things, you start realizing that you are living in service. And when you feel really great about those things, you try even harder to live in service. In fact, you might put yourself in positions where service is everything that you're focused on. Maybe you've got your regular job and you're recognizing, wow, this felt really good. And then you volunteer your time somewhere else, doing basically the same thing, because you know that these people really need it. See, you can expand out in your own experience, but while you are doing that, you can affect other people. And that right there, that sets you apart from everyone else around you. And if you can encourage the people around you to do the same thing, like, hey, come with me. I'm donating my time at this place today. I'm going to be working with children. You're going to have a blast. Or I'm going to be helping to clothe people who are going for their first job interview. You'd really love this. Come with me. If you're encouraging people to take part, then you're reaching out even further than you were before. And that is absolutely incredible. So I think that the thing we need to talk about now is how all of this has to do with you on a physical level. And we're always talking about spiritual, emotional, mental. We're always talking about those things. But let's talk about spiritual for a little bit. And let's couple that with physical. Because we can't really live in service to others. We can't set ourselves apart. We can't really work toward goals unless we're taking care of ourselves. And we really need to make sure that we're framing our thoughts about our bodies and the way that we're interacting with people. We need to frame that by understanding that we're living in a temple. This is what houses us. The inside, the personality, the emotions, the soul, all of that is housed within the physical body. This is your temple. This is where everything begins. This is where the spark of a new idea comes into play. This is where your clarity comes into play. This is where your drive is brought to life and where you generate the energy that allows you to move forward. This is where focus comes from. It's all inside the temple. How you react to the people around you, how you support the people around you. All of this happens within the temple. And each one of us has one. And each one of us is unique. The temple is unique. How we operate within it is unique. So it's really, really important that we take care of the temple. And how do we do that? Well, yeah, okay, you can go on a diet, you can work out, all those boring things that nobody wants to talk about. But when you reframe it and when you recognize, wow, working out the temple helps me to have more energy and it helps me to gain more clarity. So I'm going to do that because it not only feels good, but it helps the temple work better. When you reframe it, and it has nothing to do with taking things away, like, I'm going to go on a diet because I weigh too much, right? When you change that to, I want more energy. I want more energy, so I'm going to start cutting out sugar. I'm reading about that. It is not good for you. It lowers your brain function. It slows you down. It creates inflammation, which causes issues with arthritis and things of that sort. So why am I even doing that? I want the energy, so I'm going to take care of the temple. And wow, what helps with taking care of the temple? It's not eating lettuce every single meal. It's a balanced and wonderful diet full of healthy foods. And a lot of the cheaper stores that are out there are actually offering organic foods and things now. So it's possible for you to eat really healthy, even if you're on a budget. If you're somebody who's gluten-free, just understand something. For many, many years, if you needed to live gluten-free, there were no alternative options unless you wanted to grind your own flours. And most people did not. And I was one of those people who did not. So for many, many years, I just didn't have bread. I didn't have cookies. I didn't have cakes. These were not things that I ate because I couldn't have gluten. So know that you can live, because this was many years ago and I'm still alive. You can live without those things. And if your body doesn't like something, why are you giving it to it? If you want the energy, feed it something that gives it energy. Eat a pear instead of eating a cupcake, right? If you love salads, awesome. Make sure you put a little protein in that salad. Maybe have an egg now and then. Maybe make sure that you're eating a balanced vegetable meal instead of just, I'm going to have some lettuce and some Thousand Island dressing, right? Maybe what you do is you have a baked sweet potato. Maybe you cook a bunch of vegetables, maybe in some avocado oil. Maybe you steam those vegetables and mix it up every single day because the temple likes variety. And stop allowing the taste buds to dictate whatever it is that you're eating. Think of how it's going to feed your body. Of course, if it tastes nasty, don't have it, right? But make sure that what you're doing to feed the temple is feeding you on such a lovely and deep level that your ability to think gets stronger. Your ability to love because you're not cranky gets stronger. Your ability to think positive thoughts about yourself because you're making a commitment to yourself and you're following through, that gets stronger too. Take care of the temple. Don't vandalize the temple. Don't write graffiti all over the inside of the walls with your negative thoughts. Oh my goodness, don't do that. Don't vandalize it by eating stuff that sticks to your arteries. Don't vandalize it by eating things that creates arthritis and breaks down your joints. Make sure that you're caring for that temple, that you're loving it, that you're drinking a whole heck of a lot of water and you stop drinking all of the soft drinks. Make sure that you're doing what you need to do to feel good and make your choices based on that, not based on, I need to lose weight or I need to cut this out of my diet. Make the choices because you want to have a better life. Make the choices because you want clarity of mind so you can make wiser and bolder choices throughout all parts of your day. Stop vandalizing the temple and start caring for it so that you can live in service to others and to yourself. Make sure that everything you're doing throughout the day is based on where you're at right now. And remember that if you do choose, okay, I'm just going to have this chip ahoy. I'm going to have the chip ahoy and I'm going to just deal with it. Realize that what you do today affects you 3 days from now. So if in 72 hours, you need to be on your game because you've got a big meeting coming up, in 72 hours, if you're out to do a keynote speech or you're leading a retreat, if in 72 hours you need to have one of the biggest conversations you've ever had in your relationship, don't eat the chip ahoy. Keep yourself clear in mind. What you do today will affect you for up to 3 days after you do it. Get yourself out in nature. Walk around. Get the steps in, right? Give yourself some time to connect to the people around you in a loving and caring way. Make wiser, stronger, healthier choices. And stop vandalizing not only your temple, but your life. When you choose to get something done, get it done. Get it done and make sure that there are elements of service going on inside of that goal. And most of all, make sure that whatever your goals are, you're feeling great about them. With that, blessings to each and every one of you.